A high school girl wakes up and sees her boyfriend crying like he is about to break up with her. The girl notices that her hand is bleeding. She has been bitten by a zombie. She loses consciousness, while outside, other students are running for their lives like monkeys running toward bananas. Zombies are everywhere. One student named Alex looks around and notices a female zombie staring at him like she wants to make him her husband. But Alex isn't ready to get married yet, so he and his friends run away as she chases after them. Honestly, this is not exactly the best way to approach your crush. Alex then confronts another zombie, but this time, instead of running away, he decides to attack it. Lily warns Alex to just run because there are simply too many zombies to fight. The entire group of friends manages to lock themselves inside a room, but unfortunately, the zombies have already decided that this group is going to be their breakfast. Meanwhile, in another classroom, a boy named Kevin and a quirky girl named Preo are stuck with the others. Kevin comes up with a brilliant plan. They will hide on the balcony. One girl named Far starts crying because she apparently thinks it would be better to get eaten by zombies than climb over a 3-foot wall, because clearly, getting eaten alive is the more convenient option. Her friends have no patience for this nonsense, so they grab her and drag her onto the balcony. From the balcony, they notice people crying and running for their lives. Then they spot Alex and their other friends hiding on the balcony on the other side of the building, doing exactly the same thing. They want to call them copycats, but considering there are zombies everywhere, this probably isn't the best time to start an argument about who copied whom. Alex's girlfriend, Ning, calls her brother Nan, who is with another group of survivors. Alex grabs the phone from Nan and starts talking to the leader of the other group, Fu. Fu tells Alex to somehow take the entire group to the library because it is currently under maintenance and might be the safest place in the building. Alex and his group move forward while trying to avoid the zombies, but Faf starts talking to her father on the phone, which makes everyone angry because the noise could attract the zombies toward them. However, the group now has something much more important to worry about. The zombies are standing directly in the way of the library. One boy decides to lure the zombies away. Another smart boy takes out a Bluetooth speaker and comes up with a plan to distract them with music. Unfortunately, none of the boys are brave enough to actually go and place the speaker somewhere else, so the strong girl Preo takes the task upon herself. She grabs the speaker and rushes back into the hall. She places the speaker down and turns it on, but she is so scared that she immediately runs back to the group. The smart boy then starts playing his favorite music, apparently believing that the zombies will enjoy his playlist too. All the zombies rush toward the loud music, giving Preo and the others a chance to run toward the library. Meanwhile, Ning and her friend continue moving toward the library when one girl suddenly falls to the ground and hurts her leg. Her boyfriend, Pao, carries her on his back while a zombie starts chasing after the couple. Unfortunately, the zombie manages to grab the girl and bites her, forcing Pao to watch helplessly. Soon, Alex and the others also arrive at the library, where Ning reunites with her brother Nan. Ning then tries to make a phone call, but the cell towers are no longer working. Now everyone starts panicking as they realize they have no idea how they are going to escape the building. Preo jokingly tells everyone to just pray and wish to stay alive. One geeky boy named Knight then arrives with a radio he found nearby. Through a live broadcast, they learn that the government has temporarily jammed all the cell towers and electricity. However, the government claims that they will rescue the survivors starting tomorrow morning and urges everyone to make their way to the rooftop. Ning wants to tell the other survivors in the building to get to the rooftop as well, but Alex becomes angry. Preo also points out that if they follow Ning's plan, they could all end up being sacrificed because of the government's decision, just like what happens in practically every zombie movie ever made. Fa then starts complaining about how nobody is actually trying to get out of the building. She desperately wants to see her father. Lily tries to calm her down, but Fa becomes increasingly agitated. She is worried about her father because he has bad legs and might not be able to escape. What a sweet and caring girl. Unfortunately, brave girl Preo is running out of patience. Preo grabs Fa and decides to throw her out, but Lily stops her before she can do it. The next morning, they grab whatever they can find to defend themselves and prepare to fight their way toward the rooftop. As the zombies start getting inside the building, the survivors hide in whatever safe spots they can find. While moving through the library, they spot a woman putting books back onto the shelves, as if she is still getting paid to work. They ignore this cruel detail and continue moving. Preo's group then notices a sweeper lady who has turned into a zombie. Yet somehow, she is still wiping the floor as if she is determined to finish her shift. Apparently, even becoming a zombie isn't enough to escape overtime. Meanwhile, Lily decides to stay stay with Faf because she knows Faf can't survive on her own. The two girls search for a way out and eventually find a window. Lily jumps out of the window first. However, Faf refuses to jump because there is a zombie roaming around outside. Then, suddenly, Faf's phone starts ringing because of an alarm. Because of the noise, the zombie outside notices Lily and starts chasing after her. The zombie eventually catches Lily and grabs her. At the same time, Faf is running away from the zombies while carrying her loudly ringing phone instead of simply throwing it away. Because apparently, even during a zombie apocalypse, Faf has decided that ignoring a phone alarm is simply not an option. The gardener zombie first bites Lily on her leg. Then he notices Faf. Faf freezes in terror as the zombie starts running toward her. Lily once again sacrifices herself and stops the gardener zombie, giving Faf enough time to escape. Faf runs away and is eventually saved by Ning and her friends. Meanwhile, Kevin, Knight, and Preo are still trying to survive. Kevin wants to somehow go back and save Lily, but Preo acts selfishly and decides to leave the group. She moves forward through the car parking area and eventually meets up with the other members of the group. Everyone quickly locks themselves inside the staircase to block the horde of zombies from reaching them. As everyone runs from the zombies, Faf suddenly freezes in fear. She can't move forward anymore. Then, for some reason, she starts screaming like she owns the entire building. The zombies clearly don't appreciate her performance and immediately run toward her. And at last, Faf becomes zombie food. Meanwhile, Lily has also turned into a zombie and starts chasing after her friends Kevin and Knight. Kevin and Knight eventually arrive near a swimming pool area. As Lily continues chasing them, the two decide that their only option is to jump into the pool. So they jump in. Lily follows them into the pool, but there is just one tiny problem. Lily can't swim. Meanwhile, Ning and the others finally reach the rooftop, where they spot a military helicopter. For a moment, they think they are finally being rescued, but instead of rescuing the survivors, the military officers start firing at them. The group immediately panics and rushes back inside the staircase. They run back inside and suddenly see Faf, who has now turned into a zombie. She is slowly walking toward them. Apparently, she isn't freaking out anymore. Another group of survivors arrives, and one of them attacks Faf with an axe. The survivors retreat to an abandoned gym, where they find some drinks and snack. At least they have finally found something useful in this apocalypse. However, some boys from the other group have a gun, and Alex is not very happy about it. One of the guys claims that the government never planned to rescue them in the first place because they don't want to risk the virus spreading. So, according to him, waiting for the government is completely useless. Preo starts complaining about how they are now trapped inside the building with nowhere to go. Suddenly, they hear a loud scream. Everyone rushes toward the sound and discovers that Pao is trying to kill Gus, the boy who attacked zombie Faf. Everyone quickly ties Pao up and locks him inside a dark room. A girl named Mook, who has a crush on Pao, argues with everyone and demands that they free Pao immediately. But nobody listens to her. Mook refuses to let her man rot inside a dark room, so she steals the keys and enters the room to free Pao. At first, she tries to convince him not to cause any trouble, but Pao has completely lost his mind. He claims that he no longer has any reason to remain sane and that he wants to kill everyone. He even tries to choke Mook. Thankfully, he eventually lets her go. Pao suddenly walks out of the room and sees Gus lying on the ground. Gus is slowly turning into a zombie. It turns out that the axe used to attack Faf was covered in zombie blood. So apparently, getting bitten isn't the only way to become infected. Getting zombie blood into the wrong wound is also enough to ruin your entire day. Meanwhile, Kevin and Knight bring Lily into an indoor garden supply room, but apparently, Lily has died after drowning in the swimming pool. Kevin and Knight think they have lost her. Then suddenly, they notice something strange. Lily's wounds are healing by themselves. The two slowly back away in shock as Lily's body begins recovering. And then, Lily suddenly opens her eyes. Meanwhile, Alex, and the other group members are carefully watching recordings of the zombies to study their strange behavior. Pao, on the other hand, completely loses it. He runs outside and starts calling out to the zombies, basically asking them to come and bite him. At the exact same time, Gus's brother Nate discovers that Gus has turned into a zombie. Nate becomes enraged and grabs his gun before rushing after Pao. He fires several shots. The gunshots immediately alert the zombies. Ning, Jean, and Ek quickly grab Pao and retreat into a room while the zombies zombies chase after them. But Ek realizes that he has already been bitten. Knowing that he is going to turn into a zombie soon, Ek first hands over his bag filled with bullets. Then, before he can become a threat to everyone else, he shoots Pao, who has already become a liability. After that, Ek shoots himself. Meanwhile, at the same time, Knight and Kevin are still shocked that Lily has somehow returned from the dead. Knight quickly feeds her some addictive mushrooms, which somehow calms her down. They then quickly tie Lily to a chair before she can start attacking them. Meanwhile, Alex and the others learn that it was Mook who freed the psychopath Pao. Because of her decision, so many of their team members ended up losing their lives. The group sits down together and starts watching the recordings of the zombies again. This time, they finally notice something important. The zombies aren't simply wandering around randomly. They are following the sweeper lady's orders, which means she is their leader. But one boy named T is confused. He can't understand why all these zombies are following a janitor. What is so special about her? Mook then comes up with a theory. She believes that whoever the zombie bites somehow becomes part of its family. The sweeper lady might have been the very first person to become infected, and through her, everyone else eventually became a zombie. This could explain why all the zombies are following her. And apparently, the sweeper lady used to work at a science laboratory for a scientist named Wyrage. Meanwhile, Ning and Jean are searching inside the laboratory when they discover a fish tank. But instead of ordinary fish, the tank is filled with infected, immortal jellyfish. Ning realizes that Dr. Wyrage had been developing a serum using the immortal jellyfish. They continue searching through his office and discover a locker, but they have no idea what the password is. Jean searches through the drawers and finds a family photograph of Ning's brother Nan and their mother, Dr. Kanchana. There is a birth date written on the back of the photograph. They use Nan's birth date as the password to unlock the locker. Inside, they discover several files containing information about different patients. One of those patients is the sweeper lady. Apparently, Dr. Wyrage had been testing his experimental serum on these people. Meanwhile, Kevin, Knight, and their friends are completely unaware of the danger around them. They start singing loudly and dancing around, because apparently, being trapped inside a building full of flesh-eating zombies isn't enough excitement for them. Their foolish celebration eventually alerts the nearby zombies, and Lily starts laughing loudly as well, which only makes things worse. The sound attracts even more zombies toward them.